used to love me like a sister. You used to hold me like a friend. We used to share a master bed. And we used to.
Grand and Supreme Rising Tribe, Southern Goddess here with my big sis Keish. My big
Oh,
sis
my hair is
has
all over the place.
successfully made it to Virginia, right? Into her new place. So
No, I'm not in Virginia.
not Virginia, Maryland, excuse me.
There you go.
Maryland. There we go. There we go. She has made it successfully to Maryland in her new location. So I love it, sis. I love it. On Conscious Talk this rising, we're going to talk about alignment. Alignment has been aligning for both of us for the past week or so, and it still has. So, sis, what did you wanted to say in that moment? I'm gonna give you the floor, and in this moment.
It's just time for people to really start believing in self. You know, believe in self. Believe that if anybody else has it, that you can have it. If you don't want what they have, because I'm not a person that wants what other people have. I'm very different in the things that I want.
Yeah.
But know that you can have them. And if you know that you can have them, I don't know why I got hair like in my eyes, sorry.
It's
Um,
okay.
if you know that you can have them, then and be patient.
Yes.
It's not overnight.
No.
But it didn't take us in the womb, it didn't take us overnight to be birthed into this world.
It
We're
did.
coming out of an old understanding of doing things into a new understanding of doing things. And if you believe in yourself, you can accomplish those things one step at a time.
Yes, and I love what you said about being patient. And along these few weeks, last few risings, that was something that I understood even more. Spirit grabbed me by my coattail or the neck on my shirt and whatnot. It was like, what you rushing for? Like, slow down. Like, you have to be able to slow down in order to fully see the whole picture
Yes.
and grasp the full understanding. So, sis, why don't we just share like what are some of the things over the course of the last few risings that align with us? I know when we last spoke, not yesterday, but I think it was Wednesday when we spoke and we was talking about the different alignments that we had, and we even had a moment where we were having our own alignment and everything. It was like, oh my God, it was like the universe was just universing. So,
Yes.
sis, what are some things that you can share with our audience that you were aligned with these last few risings?
So right now, within the last week, we'll talk about the threes,
Yeah,
divine guidance and divine protection has been around us this whole time. Um, it's been a lot of synchronicities that have been hitting, and they hit, and I love it because when they come in, I like to be surprised when stuff comes in, and it's very little that surprises me.
yeah.
And because there's very little that surprises me because of I can actually see some of the stuff unfolding, and because I can see the way stuff unfolds, people try to surprise me and I'm like, yeah, I already knew.
Yeah,
um
yeah,
but the threes came up, and when they started coming, they came in, they hit hard. And we got everything we needed. We went from a no in one area, and when you get a no, most people take that as, oh my gosh,
yeah,
um
yeah,
what am I going to do, this or that or the other. And when the no came in, I was like, okay, there's a no.
yeah.
You have to understand that if you want the big door to open, there is going to be some
Peace and
no's
love.
that come
Yep,
in.
yep,
So the no came in, and in synchronicity, me and my daughters were like, well, that means that wasn't for us.
yeah,
So I didn't get rattled. It was just like, no, I was already on the road, coming up this way. And I was like, it's going to be what it is. I said, I know it's going to work out. We'll be fine. Everything works out for us in the end of the day. And so there's nothing to be worried about. got up here, and then we got our yes. And that yes turned into this great big meeting people, new understandings, new ideas that came in.
I'm through sick.
Um, I got my spiders here, that I'll start possibly putting up on some social media so people can see that. I'm working on my bearded dragon terrarium, and that'll be piece by piece. I'm going to do that slow because I still have knowledge that I need in that area. And it's just been, one no came in, and I was just like, okay, it is what it is. And then not even, I'll say days, maybe a couple days later, the yes came in, and it was like, okay, here we are. I knew it wasn't going to cost us too much. I knew it wasn't going to cost me any strife or struggle. Um, and so there you have it. I believed. I
Mm,
knew that the universe was on my side.
yes.
So because I know that now, I don't have to fall out
Uh,
for any no's or anything that doesn't work out. I just say that wasn't for me. Whatever the reason is, I don't care, because you're protecting me from something that I don't need to be worried about,
most definitely.
and we're going to keep moving on.
Most definitely, sis. And with me, I'm not going to delve too deep into the personal aspect, but I did have a little something, drop down on my doorstep. Old version of myself probably would have freaked out. She definitely would have freaked out. But when I received it, I was like, oh, okay, something big is on the horizon. This is already taken care of. 3 months from now, a year from now, I've already taken care of it. I also, Grant, get this, family. Now, I wanted a son. I got my daughter. I wanted a son. I also never dated a Scorpio before. I put that out in the ethers. So, Spirit aligned me with this beautiful kitty named Lyron. He is my son, and he is a Scorpio, my lovable baby boy. And it just happened. I remember coming back from an appointment, and it was almost like somebody took the wheel over in my car and drove me to PetSmart to get him. And he was the only one that took to me. I originally wanted to get like the black cat because I had a name for it. But yeah, she was a little too feisty for me, and I'm the only feisty one up in here. Okay, but he was the only one that took to me. And I knew right then this was my baby right here. And just to see the look on my daughter's face when I brought him, it warmed my heart. It warmed my heart. I've been able to network with other people as well, understanding, understanding, and overstanding my mission and my purpose here on earth even more. I took an AI master's class over this weekend, and I'm like, oh my goodness, having one epiphany after another. My energy was through the roof because I was born on Sunday. So I was like, oh my God, this is making so much sense. So I used to dabble in lots and lots of art before I joined the military. And then after the military, my art fell right back down into my lap. And it's now like my art, my job in the military, the decoding, all of it came back full circle. And it's like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Just clean it up. And ever since then, the alignment's just been left and right, left and right. Sis mentioned the threes. We was talking about the number 313 the other day. We was talking about that and how it aligned for her as well as me. And I was like, oh my God, you're giving me chills right now because you're literally saying the same thing that I was saying to my cousin. And I was mentioning that to him as well.
When 13 came up, it was funny. We were staying in a hotel, and I remember walking down the hall, and I got this understanding that the fire alarm was going to go off. And I said, nah, the fire alarm is not going to go off in this building. And at like 5 something in the morning, the fire alarm definitely went off. And so we're woken up, and we get downstairs, and this one lady's telling us this story about a man. I guess he was making toast. That's what she said. And my daughter has this thing called the burnt toast theory. So that was a synchronicity right there, because she talked about him burning the toast. And so I looked at
Ah,
my daughter and I was like, okay, the burnt toast theory. And she kept telling her story. And it turned out it had nothing to do with toast being burnt in the building. But I guess it was an alignment for us to have to hear about the toast so I could click burnt toast theory. Then
yeah,
as we're going upstairs, the gentleman, he was very nice. He offered us his sweater because, of course, where we were, it was cold. And I declined because I didn't need it. My daughter declined. She didn't need it. We were okay. And he walks back up to the rooms with us, and we're on the same floor. And he's saying, his birth date is 313. And I was like, what's your birthday again? 313. So early in the morning, I was trying to grasp what his astrological sign was. And it didn't click right then when we was talking about it. So I go in the room, he goes in his room, and I lay down and I was like, okay, 313, Pisces. Well, 1 and 3 is 4, and my birthday is on a 4 day. And I was like, okay, what's this supposed to mean?
yeah.
So because it wasn't right there, I was tired, laid back down. Um, we get on the road to go to our next destination because, we were only there staying overnight and it was time to get up and go. And as soon as we get the key to our next room, the room is 313.
Look at that, y'all. Look at
So
that.
I was like, whoa, I was like, and he said 313 was his lucky number and it was his
Yeah,
birthday. And that was his room number in our previous hotel. That was his room number in the previous hotel, which was the same day as his
sis, that
birthday.
is freaking
And then,
phenomenal.
yes, so when I moved to the next hotel, when we got to the next destination or the next place for us to sleep over, our room number was 313. And when I looked at it, I looked up to the sky and I said, thank you. Whatever this means, it's got to be good, because that came quick. It came within hours. So I was like, okay, okay. Then when we finally get to our place of dwelling, the numbers is 333. And I was like, okay, so you got
Yeah,
me. We got these
yeah.
threes. And so it was just, it just seemed like it all started coming in with no problems. And
I
the
know.
morning that we were doing all the, finishing up the paperwork and stuff, I remember standing in line. I had already gotten a money order. I was getting ready to get another one. I'm in a new area, new location, far away from where I was. And the woman standing behind me just starts blurting out 7, 7, 7, 7, 7,
That's my
7.
angel
And I'm
number,
like,
sis.
I wanted to turn around, but I was like, I'm not going to. I'm just going to thank the universe. So I said, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for those sevens. Although I didn't see them, I'm hearing them. And she
Yeah,
keeps blurting 7 over. She
it,
blurted some
it
other stuff,
works
but
the
I'm not going to say
same.
what she was saying, but them
Yeah,
sevens was coming.
it works the
So yeah,
same. And
it really has.
777 is my angel numbers too.
Yeah, it's just, right now it's the time for people to understand that where our focus is, especially if you have a political focus, if you're wrapped around the news, if you're wrapped into what's going on or what they're saying is going on the news, I would encourage you to turn it off, stop listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because what our society is worried about right now is the wrong worry. What we need to be focusing in on is our planet, because the planet is what provides us with everything. And if we don't start um, taking care of and listening to our planet is going to change very abruptly in front of us without us being conscious of understanding what's going on. Alignment, being in alignment, understanding alignment is you knowing that your thoughts create your reality.
Come on now.
Your words, for some air signs, your words and what you say will either build up or tear down your reality. Each person's reality is different,
Come on now. Yes, they are.
but we are still connected because our outer planets are our socialized planets. And from now up until 2027, there's going to be a lot of changes. I'm not going to speak on those now because that's not what we're speaking about. There's going to be a lot of changes. So I implore people to really sit in meditation and start to connect with your inner self. And even if it's, saying I want to see certain numbers, to see if I'm aligned or this or that or the other,
Gonna see it.
tag numbers that are outside of the norms. So
Mm-hmm.
tag numbers that are outside of your 111s, your 222s, we do know those are angel numbers, but tag something very different,
Mm-hmm.
and see if those numbers come up so that you can get confirmation that the universe is listening. And if you haven't done this before, you are going to have to give it time. Don't rush it. If you ask to see it, wait until you see it,
You have to be
because then that's when it's telling you.
you have to be patient. Two things. My mom called me yesterday, and she called me because my mom, she's cancer, so very nurturing. She's always listening to the news and concerned with what's going on and stuff like that, and checking in up on me and my cousin and my daughter and everything. And I told her, Mom, I don't watch that stuff. I don't consume that stuff because I've already created my reality. My reality isn't there. My reality is here. I'm going to be all right. My universe take care of me every time. The more you consume something, you start to program your mind to that. And I
Yes.
told her that's not where I'm at anymore. I don't even operate. I operate for self. And I did see on earlier on TikTok there was a video. This gentleman was very upset with this other gentleman for being in the store dancing around, talking about there's food in the aisle because everybody with EBTs aren't here. The person that was doing the video was genuinely upset because he felt, why are you dancing and celebrating? There's people who's hungry, children. And I was like, why are we getting emotional about this when, like we've been saying, you could grow your own food? There are food pantries out there that you can go visit. There are other options. If we're going to complain about something, let's find the solution. There are solutions out there, but the solutions that are out there, they're either not quick enough for you or you feel like it's not good enough. You can't think like that. You have to change your perspective and say, this is what the universe is giving me to work with. How do I move forward and elevate this abundance that's given to me?
This is exactly why it's time for us to start building communities, because each one teach one, you know what I'm saying? You hear people say a lot of can't. You can, you will. When you're pushed up against the wall, you will.
You
You're
must,
going to survive. If
yep.
you really sit down, and you could be in the worst of situation. You woke up this morning,
Mm-hmm.
and that means that everything can work out for you. It will work out for you, but you have to give yourself, if it's prayer, if it's meditation, you have to give yourself the time to really tap in to your inner self to be able to get these things. When it comes to the situation you was just talking about, if a person is in lack already, they're in a misunderstanding of where their food comes from.
That's true.
Um, and to not be able to get these things. So now it's time to see how we stretch our meals. How can we stretch our meals? What can we stretch? Most people say, well, I don't have time for that. You're going to have to learn to start making the
There you
time.
go. There you go.
Um, because society is, in this world that we live in, or this country that we live in, society has made people very dependent upon other things. So if you didn't have to worry about budget money for food because you had a card, now you have to figure out, how can I budget and make these things stretch?
Ashe, sis. I
Um,
say that.
and so that'll be a beginning, is to sit down and start thinking about, how did our grandparents, and great grandparents, because I have to think
Okay.
about people's age
Yeah.
groups,
Yeah.
um, how they stretched food during a time of no EBT, no food stamps, and then the minimum wage was very little, and a lot of um, African American, brown people, black people, whatever you want to call it, didn't have, abundance. So what did they do? And we'll have to start going back to that time. If one person grows food and if you're successful at it, it grows in an abundance.
It
So
does.
if the food is growing in an abundance at that time, you build a community. That means our mentality is going to have to change. The way we talk to people is going to have to change. The way we deal with each other is going to have to change, because if your next door neighbor is eating and they can feed their family, they might have enough to bring over to feed you too.
That's how you evolve, sis. That's how you
Yeah.
evolve. And I would say this, I can only share my experience. When I left the corporate world, I no longer circulated my moolah la. I like to say that because it gives like a little razzle dazzle my money, but that's what I call it, moolah la. I no longer circulated $300 worth, $400 worth of groceries on food. I had to figure out, now that I no longer have this corporate job, I'm out working for myself, how do I bring food into my household? We discussed this in recent conscious talk, conversations, that I began to grow my own food, start again, grow my own food, learning the process, not giving up on myself, but I also utilize my resources around me, like the pantries around here. I utilize those resources and I go there and I realized the food that they were giving me was more than enough for me and my daughter. How did we stretch that out? We learned how to, some people eat till they get full. My mother taught me to eat when you're satisfied. I fast. When I fast, my daughter has food to eat. I don't limit how much food that I intake. We don't need to overeat. If we overeat, like sis said, then your mind is programmed in the place of lack. Think about how you're consuming and how much you consume your food and go from there.
When I was in Islam, they teach you to lift up your right knee,
Hmm.
or eat on the floor, put your right knee into your stomach, and you don't eat past the point of being able to breathe. In
Mm.
the United States, we were taught to eat all our food, whatever our parents put on our plate, and even if it was too much,
Yeah,
which caused obesity and eating situations.
you're definitely right about that.
Now we're going to have to learn that, one, we don't need all those fillers, one, which are the carbohydrates, which need to be burned off right away. A lot of fruits and vegetables are very good. You buy those you would want to buy those daily or every 2 days. And carrots, coconut keeps the stomach full longer. It also has health benefits to it. If you need sweets, or you're a person who craves sweets, because I know a lot of empaths will crave sweets, dates are very healthy for the body as well. If you're gonna fast and you break your fast, it is good to break your fast with honey or dates, or a fresh fruit, something like that, so that you don't get the sugar spikes. But we're gonna have to learn things that we have been catered to,
Yeah.
when the news was putting out that these are third world countries and they don't have this and they don't have that and they don't have the other, and here in America we were eating and consuming and not worrying about these things.
Over consuming,
Yeah,
sis.
over consuming, you're right. And we got this card. Excuse me.
It's okay.
We got this card, I can swipe this card, government's going to give me money, and I have this and that and other. So we're eating processed foods where we don't know, a lot of people don't know how to make their own breads, make your own chips, make your own French fries.
I've done
Being
it
able to go
successfully.
back to a place that we kind of skipped over somehow, some way. Um, but we've been pampered in a way that hindered us. And
Mhm.
now we have to go back and relearn how to learn to do some of these things. Other cultures, they take they know how to make naan, and they know how to make fufu, and these things that they eat on a regular basis so that they stay a little bit more full, so that they can have them. Fasting when you're fasting, one, it helps you regenerate stem cells in the body. It helps your body regulate it. Yeah, people say, but you're not supposed to starve. No, we're not supposed to overeat, be obese, and eat a lot of these um, foods that are already broken down and reprocessed. It's not
One
good for our
thing,
body.
sis, I want to interrupt
Go
here.
ahead.
You know how when people, your stomach growls, this is something that I read, learning about fasting along my journey. I learned that when your stomach is growling, it's not necessarily telling you that you're hungry. It's just your stomach is getting used to, what do you say, the regeneration that you're doing is like breaking all the food particles down and stuff like that. And again, just getting used to you fasting. So I
It could
learned
also be
that.
telling you you're thirsty. Water.
Okay.
Water consumption is something that okay, so when we talk about like emotions,
Mm-hmm.
and if you think about being overly happy and being overly sad, they could feel the same.
Mm-hmm.
So hunger and
Same
thirst can feel
spectrum.
the same.
Mm-hmm. They on the same pole, just at the end of the each end of the pole.
Yes. So if your stomach is growling, drink a bit of water first before you actually say you're hungry. And yes, fasting um, can bring discomfort, especially if you're new to it. I usually say the first 3 days to the first week of a fast is it could be difficult for some people. If I fast, I'm not fasting for days straight. So what I'll do is I'll still fast like we do and like they do during Ramadan and
There are
not eat or
several
drink
types of
anything.
fasts. So,
Yes, there definitely
if
are.
you're not
But
able to do something for several days, you can do those intermediate fasts. I think
yeah,
that's
so
that's
that's basically what it is. It's a strict, strong, intermittent fast so that you don't eat while the sun is in the sky. You wait until the sun sets. And you don't eat or drink anything though. There's no water, there's no food, there's nothing,
so just to make
during
sure,
that
sis,
time.
you eat when the sun rises and you stop when the sun sets. Is that
No, so
okay?
you start your fast at daybreak.
Okay.
So basically what I would do is look at the time and see what time the sun is going to rise. If the sun rises at 5:30, then at about 4:30 I stop eating. 4:30 a.m. in the morning, and I will fast until the sun descends out of the sky. So about right now I know sunset around here is probably about 5:30
Okay.
where it starts.
Yeah.
Okay, you just follow the clock. You can look these numbers up. And then at that point, you break your fast, break my fast with dates or fruit or a natural fruit juice so that you're not getting all that extra added sugar. And then you can eat through the night. But what you'll start to notice is that some people will overeat during those time frames.
I
You
do
don't
have
want to
a question,
overeat.
sis. Why
Hmm?
would you eat during the night? If some say you shouldn't eat at night. That's a question that I have.
So everybody's body is different.
Mm,
And when you listen to people, just like people are listening to us, some people aren't going to be able to do these fasts because of medication and this and that and the other.
yeah,
This is how the religion is set up. Ramadan is you don't eat because think about it. During the daytime is when most people do a lot of their food consumption.
that's true.
During the daytime is when people who don't have are wanting to, but they can't. So fasting in Ramadan is to teach you that food is there, but not always for everybody. Food and water is not always accessible for everybody to have. And during the daytime hours is where more people want to consume their food. So you consume your food after sunsets because the longest portion of the day is when the sun is up.
Yeah, and do you notice when you eat, especially when you like overeat, especially like, Thanksgiving is coming up. I don't know if y'all celebrating holidays or not. That's nay or yay. But you know how people eat all that food during Thanksgiving and the sun is out and now you outside and you all in the sun. Now you get sluggish and now you want to go to sleep and everything else. And I was like, is that due to not only just us overeating, but as well as, getting the energy from the sun as well, that heavy
So
heat?
certain foods have an enzyme in them that will make you tired, such as turkey. You see what I'm saying? Some of these foods have enzymes in them that will make you sluggish and sleepy, which is why you get the itis after you eat
There you go.
Thanksgiving meal because you got turkey and then you got all these heavy meals. But you also have to understand that people overeat because that's what we're taught from the time we're a child.
Yeah, yeah. Me and my cousin was having this discussion yesterday. A whole nother alignment just happened, y'all, right there. We was having this discussion the other day because we were talking about how you can be addicted to food. Food can be addiction if you don't, be honest with yourself and be like, okay, I gotta make changes. We knew this about our family because our grandmother used to cook. She don't cook small portions. She would cook big portions. I mean, big, and it's only maybe like four of us in the house. She cooking portions for like 10, 20 people. They get mad at you if you don't really want to eat like that. Why you ain't got enough on your plate? Why you this? Why you that? And I'm like, Grandma, I'm not hungry. You better eat. You better this. You better. And family would come back for thirds, fourths, and fifths. And I was like, that's where it stems from. In this day in my life right now, I've taken accountability of that and told myself, yeah, I'm no longer addicted to food. So fasting has been truly amazing for me. Type of fasting, I had to start off with the 3-day fast first. I did the intermediate fast for a little bit, but I find that if I just do just strictly a water fast for 3 days, I'm okay. I did it by accident before, and I was like, if I did it by accident before, I can actually do it on purpose. And I realized I can do it. And I told myself, I don't really need food like I thought I did, So yeah, yeah, I enjoy, and
So
it
I
helped my intuition as well, too, sis.
It was always something that I did even as a kid. They would always talk about how I didn't eat a lot and
Mm,
how
that was a chunky
they
one.
thought I was going to be a vegetarian because I like to eat a lot of vegetables. I didn't like really chewing up a lot of meat. You see what I'm saying? To me, it was like, why are we chewing this much um,
Yeah,
for something that this is just it's not for me. When I got older, food is it's not comfort. It's fun. I like to eat stuff and have a fun
mm,
um, time with it. I
mhm.
won't say that I was ever addicted to food because food is not something that I ever felt like I had to have a lot of.
Yeah,
I do like to eat mystery stuff. So when I say mystery stuff, I've eaten foods that most Americans would turn their noses
yeah.
up to.
Hmm.
But um, for me, the understanding now is to say that I know how to eat these things, I know how to prepare these things. So I don't believe starvation is anything that I have to worry about, nor do I have to believe that there is a lack of food. I believe that as long as there is a earth here, I will grow what I need.
Yep.
You
Earth
know,
provides
as
everything for us.
Yes, it does. So those understandings, the, the food addictions, there are people that have addictive personalities. If you're addicted to food, you have to be careful because you can be addicted to other things,
Yes.
and that's spending money. That's anything could be an addiction if you do it in a way of
The
overdoing
excessive
it to
way.
where it causes you, yes, to
Mm,
where it causes stress or strife in your life. Um, but these are things when you said that you would allow your child to eat, and take time away from the food. I've done that before, not even being in a position where it had to be done. Let's put it like that. I didn't put myself in a position, but I was put in a position where it was choose. And I'd rather my kids eat
yeah,
because kids don't really understand, especially
yeah.
if food is always been there and then food is not. So I'd rather them eat than
Yep.
me,
That was my mindset.
because starvation is mentality.
It
If you
is.
believe you're starving, you're starving. If you believe you're fed, you're fed. Um, Does it go to an extent? Yes, but the body can live without food for longer than it can live without water.
Yes, that's true, sis. That was my whole mentality of that. And I realized, how much more food we had saved just by me doing that. And I was like, yeah, I can do this. I can definitely do this. This is not a difficult task for me to do. And just being able to have meals for her prepared, as well as teaching her portion control as well. Because
Yeah.
that's something that I teach her as well. We don't want to overeat. We want to eat what we need to eat, eat enough, be satisfied, don't overeat. So, yes.
Right. I mean, because if you think about it, after you fast, you eat a little bit, you're already full.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, okay, well, your stomach actually shrinks and stretches. It's one of those type of organs that can expand and then work its way back down. And your stomach is literally not that big.
Not at all.
So if you're overeating, think about how much if you've stretched your stomach out really big, think about how much it has to shrink down before you actually feel full. So the understanding of I'm hungry could be that your stomach is larger than it needs to be, and you're feeling hunger because of the fact that your stomach needs to be full to its capacity, and it's telling you you're hungry. So my heart goes out to those that are in a tight hardship right now.
Yes.
Um,
Much love to
I
you.
would like for them to be able to find their comfort, but without a crutch. Okay, I understand that you need that car, but it will work itself out to where you don't have to depend on a society that is so flighty
Yes.
that it can't make sure that you eat all the time.
Yes, please use my experience. I love to share my stories and my experience so that it can help someone in some way. We've all at some point had experienced a similar situation. I myself have, and I want to share. I ain't never had no EBT. I'm put it like that. I haven't experienced that, but I have experienced where I had to make some big shifts in order for me to be in alignment for what is really for me when my universe is trying to line me into the right places and stuff like that. So use my experience. That's what we're here for.
Also, looking at hardships differently.
Yeah.
Anytime we have to learn something new that we weren't taught, it seems like a hardship because it's new. We have to figure this out. And so now people are saying, how am I supposed to stretch this? Well, take a look at where you're spending all of your money. I understand that there are some people who are spending their money in the necessity places. This won't be for people who are pinching pennies for necessities. This will be for people who um, have excess of something that they don't need, and then turning around and saying, well, they're cutting this off, they're cutting that off. See where you're spending your money. If you're spending your money at Starbucks every day, maybe Starbucks shouldn't get your money every day and you should provide food. If you smoke cigarettes or e-pens and that's where your money is going, maybe it's time to break the habit and give that up. You see, um, if you
Another thing, sis, if you have some items in your home, like me, electronic devices, I've sold some things to bring more moolah into my pocket. So think of that. Do you really need all those TVs in your home? Do you really need all those Nintendo Switch? Like, think of it like that. I know you want a game, but what's priority?
we have to go back to the mentality of need versus want and understand the difference. In America, we are a high consumer country, very high consumer, but we've lacked some of the things that some of those other countries that our society tried to tell us we're doing bad, we lack those things. And then when you go over to those countries and people are seeing that I go over there and this country doesn't look as off or as terrible as they perceived it in the media, these people are actually thriving. They're communal, meaning that the community says that if one eats, we all eat.
You
You
see a
know,
lot
if I cook,
of
we cook for everybody. Yes, everybody's going to eat. Nobody's going to go without. If you need a place to lay your head, you have a place to lay your head. Here in America, we're one on one on one on one on one, meaning that one person's eating, they're fat and happy. They don't really care too much about, the next person who's not. They don't care if they have, a place to live. But also, if you think about our crime rate, you want to tell people, hey, I got an extra space for you to live in. I've got an extra,
yeah.
but we lost dignity and respect in ourselves to say that, well, if you got this, I'm gonna come and I'm gonna take it from you, or I expect this, because we have been pampered, we have been spoiled.
Go
And a
ahead.
lot of people would be like, well, our ancestors, I understand what our ancestors went through, but our ancestors have been long gone for millennia now. And we're here and we're going through something different.
Yeah.
And it's time for us to start building communities of like minded people so that we can extend that hand of help. And it's not always money, because I can give you money, but if you don't spend it in the right place, then you have money today and you don't have money tomorrow. It's kind of the teach, if I teach you to fish, you'll be able to feed your family for a lifetime. But if I give you a fish, you're only going to eat for this day.
Yeah.
Or you might be able to make it stretch for a week. But after that, you don't know how to go get your own food. And that's where we are. We weren't taught to garden. We weren't taught to dig in the dirt. Matter of fact, you'll find most people that say, oh, I don't do dirt. I
Yes,
can't do
sis,
bugs.
they be so quick about it. Or, oh, it's too hot out there. I'm like, what?
Yeah, yeah, that. Not understanding that we have, and I am going to put this out here,
Go ahead.
and they may not like what I'm saying, but we
I
have
just
lived
talk.
in a
Go ahead.
white society.
There you go.
None of the stuff that's in our society is geared towards Black people, not even the medical, if you really think about it, because if Black people need 30 minutes to 60 minutes of sun, and we're taught to stay in the house, or I don't want to get too dark, I don't want to this, that, and other. Vitamin D absorption is very imperative to the body. And for darker complected people, we need more sun absorption. Think
Do.
about where we came from, where our ancestors came from, and why our skin is the color it is. We are sun geared. We should be in the sun as much as we can. And it's not about getting dark. We're already dark.
Yeah. I
If
don't
you're
mind if
scared
my
of getting
skin get
darker,
darker. If I go outside in the sun, I don't care if I get darker. I do not.
if you're scared of getting darker, you're messing with your health, you're messing with the function of your body, you're messing with all kinds of stuff. And if you look out, you'll see that, our people are always talking about, I've got diabetes, I've got this, I've got that. And
Yeah.
when you look, it's all because of vitamin D absorption. You can take the pill, you can take a vitamin D pill, but your body won't absorb what it needs from it if you're not getting the amount of sun absorption that you need. We shouldn't be worried about getting old. The longer we turn around the sun, our avatar is going to change. It's changing all the time, because they say the UVB rays are burning. It's not going to burn a person that's got high melanin in their skin.
What they say, where you put your mind and energy into that, that's what it's gonna matter. So if you worried about getting old and wrinkly is what you're gonna get.
Yeah, why are we worried about that? I'd rather be 80 years old and my body still be intact to do what I needed to do than be 80 years old trying to stay out the sun, trying to stay in an air conditioned building and breathing in recycled air and not be able to get out of my bed. I don't want to be that person.
No, no
So
way.
when it comes to alignment, alignment is all of these things, understanding who we are. I'm a Black woman and my body needs sun, and I will go get that sun. And I tell people I'm very vocal about this. I need sun. And they be like, girl, you're gonna get dark. Okay, so I'm
And
gonna get dark.
yes, sis, I did the same thing.
But I don't need my melanin to fail on me. And that's something we don't think about. What are the repercussions of a darker complected person not getting enough sun? Sick and illness.
Yeah,
It's the same as when you don't get enough, when you don't work your body enough. Why do we see people that are 80, 70, 80 years old walking around bent over?
yeah,
Because the muscles are atrophying. The muscle literally atrophies because you're not doing enough. The whole, I'm old, I can't do this, I can't do that. You can still do everything that you could do when you were younger. You have to be able to put yourself in that retrospect.
they got to change their perspective because the
Yes,
moment you speak it and think it, you've already told yourself, and yourself is like, "Oh, you can't? Oh, okay, we
yes,
just can't." So you got to change your perspective. You have
yes.
got to change your perspective. You change your perspective, you'll start to see your alignment, your divine purpose will align with you.
Yes, there is a lot that's going on out in this world, and as it goes on, I kind of keep an eye because I want to see what the so the people on the outer world
I love how you said that.
live a different life from the people on the inner world,
Yes.
and the split is going to be very significant within the next couple years.
Yep.
You'll see the people who have access to knowing, understanding, and moving in their essence versus those who are still chasing money in society and those types of things. Um, we're going to see this happen because it's got to. What we know now needs to fall down in order for us to build something new.
Ashe.
And anytime a collective starts asking for one thing, more than one mind asking for something manifests it quicker. So now we have what, the three-eye atlas that's moving
Yeah.
around out
Yeah, I knew
there.
you was gonna bring that up. Get out of my mind. Stop it, I say.
All the stories and hype and stuff that's moving around that we're worried about aliens when we need to be worrying about our earth. Um, so whatever that's going to do is what it's going to do. We better hope that the mathematical understood astronomers and astrologers that are out there that's saying it's going to come close to the earth but not hit the earth, we better hope they're right.
I would say get the understanding for self, be informed, but don't overly consume. Figure out what it is, how it is you and your family are going to move from here. Because as you can see, everything has changed, everything is shifting, and it's going to continue. So, what is your plan for your family and yourself? If you don't have a family, what is your plan for you and your community? You should definitely be thinking of that in this moment right now. In this moment right now, what are your steps to elevate to your next elevation?
If you haven't started meditating, I'm going to tell you to start with meditation because the inner temple is within. And
Yes.
in order to access your higher self, you must sit with self. So if you're a person who I don't like to sit by myself for too long, or it gets too loud, or this or that or the other, yes, our frequencies here on Earth are drastically changing.
Yes.
Mentality and understanding is changing. These things are happening.
It is. It is. And you can see a lot of fear in people. We talked about fear in our one of our last segments. And fear is something that you're gonna have to take a look and face into and say, I am not afraid. I am the boss here. I'm the spicy one. So figure it out, family. It's a great opportunity for you to step up and evolve, man. Like,
I'm lucky to say I haven't seen any fear-based anything around me. Um, I've asked Spirit to show me the inner world
mm,
um, perspective and leave the outer world out there. Although I do peek through the window and the
yeah, I
curtains to
mean, you
see
want to
how
be,
they're,
yeah, get some informity a little bit, but then close
yeah,
it back.
I'm not. I don't want to be out there with. I don't want to be in that type of life. It's taken me this long to be able to break away from that. And it's funny because I was saying it. Everything that I was saying as a kid, a lot of the things that I would just blurt out, not understanding.
Hmm.
I'm starting to see that they're rising and they're starting to do the things that I wanted them to do. I still feel foreign on this earth. It still feels very foreign.
I sure
Um,
can.
I still feel like I'm, not a native, but I am in my avatar, so I can't say I'm not. But um,
I agree to that, sis. I agree to that. You gotta talk about spaceships around here.
yeah, the things that are going on out there, I feel for the people who have not been able to break that old mentality. I do get to see a dose of it. My parents are still in the old
Yeah,
understanding.
yeah,
But there are some people who just won't grasp what's going on because that program and when they were programmed is strong.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the programming is strong. It's even strong for people in my age group.
Yeah, yeah, you can see it in several age groups and how they influence each age group and everything. So just today, when I was coming back home running an errand, I didn't know that they were taking voting polls. I didn't know they were still voting for stuff. I
What are
didn't.
they voting for?
Sis, I don't know. I've been in my own little world on my
I guess.
spaceship.
I cannot allow one person to dictate my life when they don't live in my home and know my lifestyle. They
Come
don't
on,
know
man.
me.
Come on.
And I know for a fact that I don't want what everybody else wants.
Nope. I don't want to be
You
like
know,
anybody else.
I left the land of Tesla to come to another land of Tesla. You see Teslas all over here, and I'm just like, okay, I get it. It's the new, it's the new hotness. Everybody wants it. I don't want one
I don't want
because
one
to
either.
me, it's not reliable enough.
It, sis, you're saying a mouthful. When it first came out, I'm like, I'm good on that. I love my Chevy. I'm good on
Yeah,
it.
it was funny because when it came out, the relationship I was in at the time, he wanted a Tesla, and I was like, I'm gonna, maybe I'll get to the point where I buy it, but I didn't like them, so I was just like, I
They
don't see.
ugly
I
to
like
me.
the symbol. Don't get me wrong, the symbol I do. I think that's pretty cool. I like the symbol, but the car itself doesn't do anything for me. And then I don't want something to be programmable where I'm trying to drive,
Oh,
somebody can program it to go somewhere else.
oh, another thing, sis. I seen something else, a video. This young lady had just bought this brand new Toyota, whatever it is, 2025, 2026. Why is it so programmable to the point where you even just touch your phone, the car will stop wherever you at?
Yeah,
And
see.
that's too much.
I'm old school. I don't like the ding ding dinging. I still like to look over behind my shoulder. Even when I'm backing up, that teleprompter that's right there to show I can't use that.
Yeah.
I get all discombobulated. I still look over my shoulder to back up. I still use my mirrors. I think some of these things that we use as luxuries make us lazy, they make us stupid, and we're not vigilant.
I love how you said that because I do have a little screen in mine and it'll show me backing up, but I still look
Yes,
side to side because they say objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. So
yes,
I'm like, let me make sure I ain't hitting nothing. So
yes.
yeah,
So I still like to use all my senses to do things that we should use because if you don't use it, you lose it.
we are so
So
equipped.
with mentality, because we've been so jaded and not thinking for ourselves, we let society think for us, and people don't really understand where society came from. But go back into your Roman and
You mentioned
during
it
Jesus'
before,
time, the Roman
families.
and the Jews, and understand where our societies came from. It was a need at one point in time, somewhere in time, okay? But now things are changing and we've not used all of our brain cells because we let somebody else commandeer those brain cells. And now we're walking around running into walls, not understanding why we're running into walls.
Yeah, you said a mouthful, big sis. You said a mouthful. You did.
Seriously, people, I mean, I'm speaking in metaphors, I get it, but where you're running into walls.
And I get
When
it. I definitely get
Go
it.
ahead.
I get the understanding of having structure in a community and society, but it's a difference between having structure than having way too much goddamn power.
Yeah, crutches, walking around on crutches.
And crutches hurts my shoulders. I've had crutches before. My armpits was in pain, so I just started hobbling around. I don't need no crutches. So now I'm
So
good.
I'm okay. So this I have to tell.
Oh, dude,
I
please.
met a gentleman from another country who came here, and he's been here for 2 years. And I asked him, I said, what made you want to come to this country? And he said, media. And I said, okay. He said, but it was the biggest culture shock I'd ever had. And I looked at him
Mhm.
and I said, I'm sure it was.
I
You
bet
came
so.
from a place where your community made sure you ate, made sure you had a place to rest your head, made sure you were taken care of, and they cared for you. And then you came to a place where they showed you in your media that this was where dreams come true.
They showed you the glitz and the glams and the razzle
Yeah,
dazzle when you get
yep,
here. You like,
yep.
oh,
Well, no, he got here, and like he said, it was a whole culture shock. So
yeah.
it's not just a oh, it's a what the heck.
That's my version of what the heck. Oh,
You see, it's like
yeah.
um, he said they don't show you this verse. I know they're not going to show you.
And
They
not.
want you to come here because this is a place where the ones at the very top, they have all the money, and as long as when you come here, you dish out money. It's not easy to get here, really not. You dish out that money, you get here, and now you're trying to figure out, well, how do you get the American dream? It's an illusion.
All of it, just like how they would post these commercials of the foreign countries and they show you the poor, if you have $1 for da 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 da, and the whole time they're actually communing, they're living lavishly together because they grow their food together, they they take care of each other. And
But
it
not
looks
even that. We have that going on here. We have states that don't have drinkable water.
mm-hmm.
We have states that don't have, the best of living, but they don't show that.
They
It's
do.
not due for this country. It's here. Let me show you this other country so you can send us the money so
Yep.
we can take a portion of this money and send over there. But we're going to keep the rest of the money in this what did they put it in? Nonprofit organizations,
There you go.
and then they take that money out and they utilize it for themselves.
Ooh, I had a question that popped in my head.
Yeah. What's up?
So, you know how we talk about, there's some people who eating, they fat and happy, and then you got some on the street that's skinny and hungry and stuff like that. And I realize people have that 1-1-1 mentality until a natural disaster happened. Now we got to come together. Now we got to do you think that's a pattern that happens here in the US? In some places, because if you think about it, like there are some areas, like you said, they still don't have clean water, and due to whatever circumstances from that, it pushed that community to come together.
We're a country of division. Everything here is divided.
Mm.
And if it can be divided, it will be divided. So that's the lack of money versus the abundance of money, if you want to say that. It's the lack of water for the abundance of water. It's the color versus the color, the hair versus the hair. It's the whole Willie Lynch understanding. If you haven't read his
Read that book.
speech, you must read it. It's a division. And that division is what we are here. But they sell a dream so that people will want to come here. That remember the Statue of Liberty still has shackles on her feet.
On her
Just because you
feet.
can't
Yep.
see them don't mean they're not there.
Yeah, they are there. They definitely are.
So what if you lived in another country, what would that tell you? If you could see those shackles on her feet, what would that tell you? This is a country living in delusion and illusion. And until you can see through the veil of understanding, it's not the rich people that are in abundance. It's the less fortunate ones, but they don't see it that way because money circulates, money makes everything go round. I need money, I need money, I need money, I need money.
Validation
But
to
what happens when that document falls?
you're gonna have to get back out there in that dirt in that sun.
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
Long time ago, if your last name was Baker, your dad was probably a bread baker. You probably had, and you learned the skill from your parent.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
You would learn your skills from the person above you who were taught different skills. If you look over in the other countries, they still do this. Italians still make their food according to the way their ancestors made their
Yes.
food. But here in America, what are we making?
And they make theirs from scratch and it tastes
Yes,
amazing.
yes. But we say, oh, I'm not about to go buy all those tomatoes and put it in this pot and go through all
Because
that work. Oh, that's
they
too
want
much.
it right now, sis.
Yes.
It ain't
I'm
fast
gonna just
enough.
get this meal and throw it in the microwave and let these microwave warm up my food. And I don't know what it's doing. And then I'm gonna put it in my body, but it's right now, it's right now, it's right now, it's right now, it's right now. Not understanding that we got to a place where we got into a mentality of we expect instead of understanding that if you want something good, you need to make it yourself.
Oh,
Now we're starting to see crochet fell off and now crochet is big because you can make your own clothes, but
yeah.
we're so worried about, oh, it don't have Louis Vuitton or it don't have Michael Kors or it don't this or that or the other. But you're breaking your bank for somebody else's fortune when you could learn to create that on your own.
Yeah.
We wasted our brain cells.
I love how you said that, sis.
Well, they have, because I can do all these things. I know that I could teach myself to do
Yeah.
anything that
Yeah.
anybody else can do.
Yes, and you know what? I went to culinary school, guys. I know how to make bread and pasta from scratch. My chef was a Jewish woman, and she said to me, anybody can cook if they got a book. And I took that and ran with it. You can pick up any type of book, read it, and teach yourself. If you're a visual learner like me, because I can read something and I still need an example, YouTube University. YouTube
Yes,
University.
there are people out there teaching you how to do anything. Need brakes for your cars? There's somebody that teach you how to replace your brakes. Need to learn how to cook? There are people who teach you how to cook.
All of that.
It's to the point where we need to start doing for self and stop letting somebody tell us how things need to be.
Get them
If
keys.
you got a couple $100 in your bank account, put it there until you figure out how you could use that for self in a way to stretch your life a little bit further versus going to buy the new hot bag, the new hot shoes, the new hot this. If you want to look good, then learn what's in your closet that you like. Learn how to map it. It's a young man that's on YouTube right now that's teaching people how to take their clothes, map them out,
Mm-hmm.
and resew your outfit to fit you and make you look cute. Stop making rich people richer.
I love that. I love that. And if not, and you got a wardrobe that fits, figure out how to mix and match it. That's what I do. I get in my clothes. Okay, that look good with that today. My grandmother used to, be a model, and I would feel her presence around me. Okay, Jack, do this, do this, do this, do this, and boom, bada bing. I look good no matter what I'm wearing. Okay, it's all about being comfortable. I'm not trying to impress nobody. I'm only impressing me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. We went away from being individual people for self, meaning that take care of the community. But why are we dolling ourselves up? Because you're trying to catch a man or you're trying to catch a woman? What happens when they see you at your worst?
Ooh, speak on it, sis. Speak on it. It's a lot of
If
people
they don't
came
like
in,
you
but
at your worst, they don't deserve you at your best because at your worst is your best at the time.
it is.
Meaning that, like, if my hair is all just, and I walk out the house, or I got my little scully on my head and my hair is tied back, the first thing I say is, I'm not really trying to impress nobody.
Come on now, sis. You
I
see
shouldn't
my
have to. We shouldn't have to. There shouldn't be a person on the face of the planet that you have to feel like you need to nip, tuck, change your look, change who you are. Okay, yes, you want to make yourself feel a little bit better about yourself. I'm not saying don't put on a little makeup, make your hair look good, but
Do it for you.
self. If you don't do it for yourself, why do it for somebody else?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
If they want you to do it, then they should provide it. If they're not
Do it
providing
themselves.
it, and then at the same time, to if you're allowing somebody to put you in a crunch where they're taking care of everything for you, that's just another crutch.
Come on, sis, speak
It's
on.
just another crutch. How do you do it for yourself?
Teach yourself. Teach. You cannot.
You
We.
know, because you see women who lived with a man who did everything and then he passes away and they can't
There
do
you go
nothing for
again in my
themselves.
head. Get out of there. Just get out of there.
Not being able to provide for yourself. Well, I don't know how to do this. He did it. He did that for 20 years. Why didn't you learn? Why didn't you learn? Why didn't you learn how to be able to provide and take care of yourself? Now you have to go through the hardships of learning because you didn't know. So now you have to, the bill collector's calling. I don't know what bank account. I don't know this. I don't know that. I don't know the other. The I don't knows, they're no longer. You should know for yourself. You
I have
should
a
want to
solution.
know.
There you go. I have a solution. That's what you should say. I have a solution. Because you got to think of it like this. One day they're not going to be there, whether they leave here physically or they just be like, hey, I'm washing my hands with
They
this.
done found a more independent woman.
There you go. You're going to have to
Yeah.
find a solution some way or shape or form in that matter. So, yes, be in love and stuff, but have interdependence.
Yes. Be dependent on self first and then learn to work with someone else. I understand either way is a little bit of challenges when we don't know something. Learning it is a challenge, but you will get there. The more you practice, the more you do, the more you'll find that it gets easier. If you have 3 kids and it's only one income, then guess what? You learn to make that income stretch. That means that they may not get big Christmases. They may not get big birthdays. My children didn't.
My,
It was due to religious understanding during the time, but after that religious understanding had misunderstood me and I moved on, I still said, why would I go broke for one day out of the year
yep,
when
yep.
there's 365 days in a year?
Yeah, and you
I'm not going to take
provide
and
about the whole entire year.
who are we trying to outdo? I'm not trying to outdo myself. If you got one present last year, then keeping up with myself is getting you at least one present this year.
And hey, come on, sis, you said a lot. I talked to my daughter too as well. Mommy, why we not doing this and they doing this? Well, blah 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 blah. This is why we are doing our own thing. We're not like everybody else. We
No,
do
we're
our own
not.
tradition. So
We're not. And that's another thing people go into not understanding that just because the next door neighbors is got this big Christmas tree and all these lights and hey, wait until February. No, not February because income taxes come out. Wait until about March, April timeframe and then see how they're doing. Then the summer comes up and see how they're doing. We put ourselves in crunches trying to keep up with other people that look like they're doing good when behind the scenes, it's a show that they're putting on. It's an illusion.
mhm. And we're not
It's an
saying don't
illusion.
ask for help. You should definitely ask for help if you need it. But what we are saying is be self-sufficient.
Yes. Be able to support self. But in order to do that, you have to know yourself. And if you're setting a lot of balls down the wrong path, saying can't, then that ball is rolling down the can't path and you never will be able to until you pull it back and say, I can.
I think I can. I think I can. No, let's change that. I know I can. I know I can.
Yes, I
Look,
know I can.
could. I know I
I
can.
know.
Yes.
So with the alignment, we came to show you that things are moving in the direction that we set for ourselves. I can only say through practice, meditation, understanding, and giving grace to the universe, to the Most High, to God, to Allah, to Buddha, to Krishna, to all of the different gods and goddesses that's out there, and then turning around and giving it to the planets and understanding it comes around. I do want to touch on one thing before we go.
Yes.
And that is the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Be very careful about your understanding of these two energies.
Yes.
Because from what I understand of the feminine energy, just be careful. It's not as understanding as you'd like to think it is. It could be tumultuous and it could cause different understanding. It's a balance that we want. And I understand that women want to be more liberated now than ever before. But before we push our men to the background saying that I'm a woman and I'm independent and I can do this on my own, make sure that we give our men grace and crown them as well. If you want to be crowned queen as a woman, then your mate must be crowned as a king. You must be able to help lift him up if you're lifting yourself up now. I said all that to say, if a person is not in the same space that you're in, and they're in the outer world and you're in the inner world, you might have to think that maybe until they have their ego death and they allow themselves to understand the inner world, that they need to stay on the outside looking in until they're granted permission to come on the inside to look out.
I love that, sis. I love that. So guys, basically, as you can see, alignment and aligning and everything has been nothing but abundance for both of us. Like sis said, giving thanks to all the gods and the goddesses out there poured up for the ancestors and, changing my perspective, how I view things and everything. I just literally did a video on ego death, and sis just mentioned ego death. Go watch that because I have a different perspective on that because, we discussed, our egos stay with us. And I view it as our egos transcending. If our ego is dying, then we might as well prepare to leave this physical body, right?
Yes. When I say ego death, it's knowing when the ego is rearing its head and knowing that you don't have to choose that.
Yeah. Everybody has their own perspective and understanding of that. And I love being on this path. I love interacting with sis. We have these conscious conversations. I have conscious conversations outside of me and big sis, just getting everybody's perspectives and understanding. We are not all the same. We have different perspectives, but what is the same is that we know ourselves and we understand how to move in experiences, not challenges, but experiences to help us elevate to our next divine being, our next shift.
Yes.
So
because
thank
the
you.
experiences are beautiful.
Very much so. Lots of jewels and diamonds and pearls that's in there. So go out there and grab it. This is your opportunity to find that. Stop allowing what society is showing you to keep you at that stagnant, state. Stop saying can't. Like sis said, kick that T off that can, because yes, you can.
Society has a firm grip on the veil that most people can't see through. And until you can see through it, you won't understand what we're talking about.
Yes.
But society is that veil that doesn't need to be there anymore.
Ashe, sis. Ashe. I love it. We enjoyed you guys. And check out that new intro and outro that your girl dropped for Conscious Talk, y'all. I'm so excited. I was excited to get this recorded so I can add it onto our video. But thank you guys. We'll see you on our next segment. And love you guys as well. Also, what's my saying? Find your light and then fix your crown, family. Peace.
We were disco dancing.